bitching is a badge of honor. And it's not. It's nothing of the sort. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help anybody else. And it contributes to this overall feeling of doom and gloom and negativity. And I want none of it. So my job, as I see it, a big part of my job, is to be an antidote to all that shit.
And I see your posts, and the things that you post are so different than what I see a lot of postings on LinkedIn are about. And what makes you unique to me is that you're actually sending a positive message. You are not bitching about stuff.
I hope so, because honestly, that shit drives me crazy. Okay. It serves no purpose. Being negative and criticizing, I think I just posted something yesterday. If anything raises my blood pressure, it's this. Pointing fingers at other people, this trend of like shit posting. Well, young designers don't understand, and that if you don't do this, this, and this, that's not real UX. And like, what is the point of this? I'll give you a parallel. I have started a couple magazines in my life in a small book publishing company way back when. But with the magazines in particular, because we were reviewing art and music and poetry and all sorts of stuff. And myself and my first partner, Stuart Greenwell, felt like bad reviews make no sense. Like, why am I going to waste 10 minutes or 15 minutes or half hour of somebody's life reading about something that sucks? Like, why wouldn't you just turn them on to something that's positive, that's good, that's, hey, this is uplifting, it's going to change your life, it's, something you should check out, it's inspiring. Like, that's the kind of stuff that we wanted to put out into the world. And that, to me, carries across everything. I don't see any reason to open your mouth to be hypercritical. We've elevated constructive criticism into this place where like being negative is a badge of honor. Bitching is a badge of honor. And it's not. It's nothing of the sort. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help anybody else. And it contributes to this overall feeling of doom and gloom and negativity. And especially the older I get, I want none of it. So my job, as I see it, a big part of my job, is to be an antidote to all that shit.
Yeah. I'll be honest, Joe, sometimes it's easier just to be negative and to bitch. So
sure it is.
I almost think you have to get beyond that and have a little bit of, I don't know, self-reflection, revelation, whatever it might be, to be like, I'm going to be bigger and better than that.
Yeah, I think it's the only way to go forward. Okay. And I think you learn this in a number of ways. I think that has to do with how I was raised. I think it has to do with the lessons that my father tried to teach me my entire life. His thing was always like, look, whatever's happening is happening. Do the very next thing. Okay. Don't look too far behind. Don't look too far ahead. Do the very next thing. Right. When I met my wife, she's one of these people as well. It's like when something terrible happens, because if you're alive, you're going to get kicked in the teeth sooner or later. It's going to happen. And her whole thing is like, okay, great. It happened. What are you going to do about it? Right? You can spend the next hour, day, week, month lamenting what's going on. It changes nothing. What is within your power to do? Now, some things are bigger than you and you can't change everything. But you do have a choice in how you react to it. You do have a choice in how you exist in that moment. So you can give yourself the grace to say this sucks and it hurts. At the same time, I think if you're going to do anything worth doing, if you're going to live a life that you like, that you can feel proud of, you got to move past that moment and say, all right, I got to find a way to turn this around or turn it into something more positive.
Right.
Maybe that's naive. I don't know.
No, I think it's totally fair. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, start walking again, right? You can't just lay there forever.
That's right. That's my one saving grace. People in interviews ask me all the time, what would you attribute to your success? Above everything else, I refuse to stay down. Sometimes it's no more than that. Sometimes all you got going for you is the ability to get up, because everything else is just a mess. It's like, what can I do? Well, I can get up.
Yeah. And the strength sometimes that it takes to just get up is pretty big for some people.
Yes, it is. It's massive. Like I said, in all manner of ways, you're going to get hit. I mean, that's life in general. And I take a lot of inspiration from people who have been through extraordinarily terrible things. History is littered with those stories. And you think to yourself, all right, if this person found the strength and the will to get up and keep going after that, my life has been a breeze compared to a lot of this stuff.
Right.
And I think, all right, if they could do it, there's no excuse for me. It's just how I think. I'm not saying everybody should think like that. That's just how I do my thing. It's part of what helps me keep going.
Yeah, that's really great. Again, I'll admit sometimes that's not easy. Sometimes I've been in that
Easy
bitching,
about it.
crying, moaning,
Sure.
but
Sure.
then you can't do that forever. What good is it going to do?
No. I mean, you, even from a business perspective, right? I've rolled out plenty of things that have failed spectacularly. And you put all this work and all this effort and all this heart, quite frankly, because you care about it. This thing about it's not personal, give me a break, okay? It's personal. If you want to be good at anything, you have to care about it. And if you care about it, it is therefore personal. So you take it, pretty seriously when things fall flat on their face. So it happens. And it does sink your ship. There's no question about that. There's nothing easy about it. But wallowing makes it worse, in my experience. So I feel like if I've got a voice and people are paying attention to what I say, I need to be responsible with how I use that. So I would much rather put things out into the world that give people some hope. And I also say this because I coach a lot of UX folks, product design folks, product managers, copywriters. Got a few developers here and there. It's part of the reason they wind up in this place where they're like, okay, well, it must be me. I can't do this job. I'm no good at this, because they're running into opposition at work, or they're unable to do the kind of work that they're proud of, or they're unable to institute any of these right ways to do UX, any number of things. But it makes people feel like failures. It hurts. And that bothers me a great deal, because the suffering is unnecessary. People attribute circumstances that happen to them at work in particular as judgment of their ability or their worth or their talent. And nothing can be further than the truth. A lot of that shit has nothing to do with you. Nothing. Zero, zip. Those decisions have nothing to do with whether anybody does or does not respect what you do for a living. And people don't realize that, So that's all a long-winded way of saying, yeah, I feel like more of us, specifically those of us who've been around for a while, I think have a greater responsibility to choose our words a little more carefully.